On the Real Better Life podcast, we dig into the stories, failures, triumphs, and real-life adventures that shape and inform our tribe of real estate advisors in the pursuit of their better lives and those of their clients. It's real, raw, and unashamedly honest. Join Dave Ness, founder and chief troublemaker at Thrive Real Estate Group, for the stories worth telling.
Hey, today we're going to be talking about what we refer to as the Support Challenge Matrix. And of course, we have to give a huge shout out to a dear friend, a mentor, a business coach, a guide, someone who is invested in not only me and Rob, but also the Thrive community.
Here.
Yeah, he's been highly influential and has guided us in many of the core principles and the core foundations of Thrive. His name's Landon Lynch. He runs a company called Motive Strategies. And so a lot of the content today that you're going to hear and the illustration that we are staring at right now, which I'll describe in just a second for our listeners, comes from Landon and his genius. So Landon, if you're listening, thank you, brother. And we're going to regurgitate and rehash some of these concepts to the best of our ability. And at some point, we should probably have Landon on this podcast.
And quick shout out to Giant, who
Yes.
Landon is partnered with.
That's right.
And Giant, we got to give them credit for the, what do they call it? Intellectual property.
Intellectual property.
That we're about to review and innovate on.
Yes. Yeah. It's not ours originally, but we've kind of taken it and put it through our own lens and have some insights that we'd love to share with you guys. So,
by the way, I ran into Landon at dinner like a week ago.
Yeah.
Just totally random. Quick shameless plug. If you like tequila, the restaurant we were at, and I had Landon try it, and he was like, "This is incredible." There is a tequila. It's an Añejo tequila.
Nice.
I don't know if I said that. Añejo or
Añejo.
Añejo.
Yeah.
There you go. Got to get the Añe in there. It's called Tears.
Okay.
I'd have to send you a picture of the bottle. It is the best tequila you've ever had in your life. Yeah. I gotta buy you a bottle, but
one of these episodes should just be on bourbon and tequila.
No doubt.
All right, so
not today. Not today.
Support Challenge Matrix. And so, by the way, I am going to dive into it, but just know that if you're listening to this and you are at a different brokerage, you're a leader, you are an influencer, you have impact on other people.
Shoot, you could be in a totally different industry.
Or a totally different industry. Whatever industry you're in, we happen to be in real estate. But this high support, high challenge, and low support, low challenge matrix that we're going to go through is applicable across the board.
It's funny. We were talking before we got on here. Had a laughing fit. So we're like, who does this apply to? Anybody who's in an organization. So roughly 7 billion people, because everybody's in an organization of some sort.
Of some kind.
Yeah, whether that's a company, a family unit, a gang.
Yeah.
Dave referenced the Taliban at one point.
Everyone's a part of it.
Everybody's in an organization. So
whatever yours is.
Yeah, this is. Hey, we happen to focus on real estate, but this could apply to anything.
Could be anything. So if you're listening, you don't have this visual, but just imagine this in your mind. Or if you're listening and you're sitting at a desk with a piece of paper and a pen, draw this. So you've got a vertical axis, a vertical line up and down. On the top end of that axis, you have high support. On the low end of that axis, you have low support. And then you have another axis, which is the horizontal axis.
In math, they call that the x-axis.
Is that what it is? Math is not my strong suit. On the y-axis, is that right?
The y-axis is support. No, the x-axis, the horizontal one is challenge.
Okay, the challenge. Okay, so I'm just going to call it the horizontal axis. On the right, you'd have high challenge, and on the left, you'd have low challenge. So
yeah, we're going to have you take the cosine of support and challenge at the end of this episode to see if you've been paying attention.
So high support, low support, up and down. And then left to right, you've got the low challenge, high challenge, which gives you 4 quadrants, right? In the upper left quadrant, which would be high support and low challenge, you'd have what we're going to refer to as the cozy culture. Okay, high support, you got all the tools, you got all the resources, you got all the coaching, mentoring, everything that you need. High support. but no expectations, no challenge, no one confronting you about much of anything. That would be the cozy culture. It's very cozy. Mm-hmm. Then next, as you round the go to the bottom left quadrant, which is low challenge and low support. So no one confronting you, no expectations, and no support whatsoever, no resources, no nothing. We're going to call this the apathetic culture, just riddled with apathy. No one cares, doesn't really matter. Which, by the way, in our industry is 98% of real estate brokers.
Once again, I'm pretty sure you offended somebody. But keep going.
I'm glad we have 7 listeners.
6 out of the 7 are offended at
right.
this point.
But it's the truth. Okay, and then the next one, as you go around, is the low support and high challenge, right? So not a lot of support, not a lot of resources, coaching, mentoring, guiding, training, but really high challenge.
Think Boiler Room.
Boiler Room. Yeah, if you haven't watched that movie, I highly recommend you do so. Don't.
Not with your kids.
Yeah, right. Be careful. But that's the aggressive culture. It's all about the numbers. It's all about quotas. It's all about metrics. It's all about production. It's all about just making sure that you are adding to the company, essentially. Yeah. I think a lot of corporate cultures, although I've never really been at one, but from what I hear...
Do you want to tell the Dairy Queen story?
Yeah.
This seems like appropriate. I mean...
The only job I've ever had, this is what Rob wants to unveil right now, the only job I've ever had was at Dairy Queen in high school, and I lasted 2 days, and then I got fired. So,
why did you get fired?
Screwing around in the back with the milkshakes. But it was a lot of fun, I can tell you that.
You're just not cut out to be an employee.
I'm not a good employee. I'm a terrible employee. And then the next quadrant is high support and high challenge. You have the resources, you have the training, you have the tools, you have the mentorship, you have even the technology to do the job and to do it well. And high challenge is there are high expectations around that, right? There's things that you need to do in order to live up to and into the culture. And your leaders are not calling you out, but also calling you up into your best self, into the best version of yourself. You're growing, you're advancing, you're succeeding, and that's the high support, high challenge culture, which is labeled the liberated culture. Yeah. Liberated, right? Yeah.
And so I love this one.
Yeah.
I love this one because I'm thinking, you know me, I love sports, right? And I love sports psychology. And I heard this one time from Dr. David Cook. If you haven't checked him out, look him up. Talks about performance equals potential minus interference.
Oh, right? Interesting.
Yeah. Great concept. Different podcast for a different day. But liberated culture is, I believe, the quadrant where people get the most out of themselves. It's where you close that gap between someone's potential and someone's actual performance.
Yeah.
Right? It's where you have all the resources and all the empowerment along with the coaching, the accountability, and an appropriate mix of challenge and support.
Yeah, that's kind of the concept that I think is kind of like a bumper sticker in today's day and age, which is, the best version of yourself. Everyone talks about that.
Living your best life.
Living your best life, living into the...
What does that even mean?
Right, the best version of yourself.
I don't think any of us are living our best lives.
No, and shameless self-promotion. I mean, at our company, we call it the better life. That's because it's a never-ending process of becoming better. But if we ever achieve our best life, that's terminal.
Yep.
At that point, you're done.
Yep. It's an ideal you'll never reach, but something worth striving for.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 100%. So that's that idea of growth and better self. So I've kind of walked through the matrix: high support, high challenge, low challenge, and I've talked about the cozy culture, apathetic culture, aggressive, and liberated culture. So why don't you riff really quick on those 4 and the implications or the further descriptions of those?
Yeah, when I'm looking at the descriptions right now, and if I want to read these, but I want to go a little bit different direction, right? Okay. When I read the cozy culture, which is the one we started with, it's characterized by entitlement and mistrust.
Yeah.
Right? Apathetic culture is characterized by abdication and laziness, right? So a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blame, a lot of,
it's never my fault.
It's not my fault. It's not me.
Yep.
It's them. It's you. aggressive culture is fear and manipulation.
Yep.
Right. So this is, I'll come back to this one, but this is the one I've spent a lot of time in. And then the liberated culture is characterized by empowerment and opportunity.
There you go.
And an epiphany we had before we jumped on here is how we talked about, I said, hey, what are the implications of each one of these cultures? And we got on this topic of value.
Value.
Right. And a cozy culture, the message that is sent to somebody in a cozy culture is, hey, you're valuable because of who you are.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you perform.
Yeah. No matter what you do, no matter what you don't do.
That's right.
No matter how you show up, no matter how you contribute or not to the community, you're super valuable.
That's right. We just like you for who you are, right? Regardless of your performance. And it's funny because I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm going to go over to the aggressive culture.
Yeah.
Because the aggressive culture is the exact opposite. It says you're valuable as long as you perform.
As long as you're contributing, as long as you're performing, as long as you're hitting your numbers, whatever.
That's right. Your value is in direct proportion to your achievement.
Right. And without that, you're not valuable.
That's right. If you're not achieving, you're a piece of garbage.
Yeah. Why are you even here? Get out of here.
It's a lot of shame. It's a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
It's a lot of judgment. Where the cozy culture is the exact opposite.
But both of them have the characteristic of
there is
messaging of you're valuable.
That's right.
There's strings attached, but you're valuable.
Exactly. Your value is heavily tilted towards, one or the other, either achievement or just, who you are.
Right.
Then the apathetic culture is a weird one. You used a word that was really interesting. You said sinister. This is the most sinister of each one because the message is you're not valuable.
It doesn't matter what you do.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how great you are. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you do a lot or do a little. We don't care.
Yeah.
We just need somebody to fill the role.
Oh,
dude,
just a beating heart.
Yeah. It's I know that is so gross to us. Different conversation for a different day, but that's a really low level of existence.
Yep.
Right. If you're sitting here going, I think I'm in an apathetic culture. Run.
Yeah.
You should do everything you can to get out.
Yeah.
And it would be better to be in one of the ones that's, maybe tilted towards, one axis or the other than the one that we strive for. And I think we achieve a good amount of the time is the liberated culture where it's, hey, your value is a combination of both who you are and how you perform. If you are a great person, but you're not performing, you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, what am I really doing to add value to somebody else's life?
Yeah.
Can I really call that success if I'm not living up to my potential, if I'm not performing at a high level, if I'm not putting in the time to be a master of my craft?
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
But the flip side of that is true. If somebody is completely sold out to achievement, and they're sacrificing their relationships, their health, their mental health, their personal well-being.
Yep.
I don't think either you or I would sit here and call that a success.
That's not advancement. That's not growth. In our own environment and in our company, which is a real estate brokerage, we look at it and go, yeah, we do have metrics.
Yeah.
Right. We have dashboards. We have numbers. We have all these things because you have to measure what matters, or what's the other one? Measure what you treasure.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're not, then you're fooling yourself. And at the same time, we have to look at it from the lifestyle perspective and from the human perspective.
Yep.
And say, for example, even if you're hitting all these great numbers, you're at the top of the leaderboards, you're the man or woman in charge, and when it comes to sales, however, your relationship with your significant other is rapidly deteriorating or going through a really hard time, or you're not available for your kids, or you're not getting recreation time for yourself, or you're not, pouring into your friends or your faith community in some level, then we would look at that and go, that's a problem. And there's a balance there too, because we even have kind of a quote, quote, dashboard for that.
Yeah.
Which is called in our world the calendar diagnostic, right? And so we look at that and we fill in all these visuals, these colored visuals to say, let's just tilt back in our chairs and look at this thing together and say to ourselves, how much red is on the board, how much green, how much blue, how much black, how much purple, and you very quickly see, dude, your world is tilted way too far.
Yeah.
So let's correct that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like my pastor talks about. He's like, if I want to know what you care about, I only need to see two things: your calendar and your checkbook.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's going to tell me everything I need to know.
Yep.
Right. And so not that everything in your life is going to get the equal proportion of time or the equal proportion of money. Right. But that we were having an interesting conversation because we were talking, when you talk about the implications of this, everybody leans more towards one than the other.
For what? Yeah.
Yeah. We all have a tendency to either err on the side of support or to err on the side of challenge. And what we were talking about is, if you just go by default, right, you'll probably end up in either cozy or aggressive. You know, whether you're the creator of the culture or the participant in the culture.
Yeah.
Right. Cozy culture and aggressive culture, they don't take nearly as much effort as liberated culture. Because you're just doing what comes naturally to you. Where, let's face it, if your tendency is to be more on the aggressive side, which that's my tendency, right? I have to work really hard at the support side. It doesn't come naturally.
It's not native.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, and I think, I'm still working on that one, but I think of like how bad I used to be compared to where I am now. I'm a lot better than I was.
Yeah.
Thank God for good mentors in our lives.
Yeah, totally.
And good people that care about us and model what it's supposed to look like in some of the other areas, right? But like, that's hard. It takes intention, it takes thought, it takes reflection, we were talking about, I've had to journal on it, I've had to visualize. Like,
it starts too with, it has definitely a measure of humility.
100%. And, and I think you really have to have a growth mindset to want to lean into the part that you're not good at.
Yeah, because it's easier, like in your world, if I'm kind of speaking maybe out of line, so you correct me if I'm wrong.
No, go ahead.
But it's easier for you to live in an aggressive culture.
It is.
It's just easier.
Yep.
And so if you didn't care...
My knee-jerk reaction when things get sideways is... Aggression, consequences... shame, judgment, all the things I experienced growing up.
In fact, just getting ready for this episode, you were using just an example with kiddos.
Yeah.
So to say more about that.
Yeah, like when my kids mess up, my natural instinct is to get angry, to yell, to dish out consequences. Yeah. Like, this is not acceptable.
Like almost squeeze in the rules.
Yep.
Like more and more rules.
Totally. Where it actually takes effort, and we were talking about this before we jumped on, where I have to journal and visualize on like, what would it look like to be higher in support and to actually match my challenge, because the challenge isn't all bad.
No,
it genuinely comes from a place of I want life for my kids to work well. I want them to make good decisions. I want them to understand that their choices have consequences, good or bad.
Yeah.
Right.
It's training, really.
Yeah. But it can't be all one or all of the other.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm all support and there's no consequences, my kids go off the rails and they do whatever they want.
Yeah.
If it's all challenge and no support, my kids are constantly stepping on eggshells, feeling like when I do good, I'm valuable, and when I don't do good, I'm a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Right. And nobody loves me.
Right.
Which that's not true either.
Yeah.
So it's finding
so good.
both. But like, oh my gosh, the support part takes like really hard work.
Yep.
For me, which thank God opposites attract, where my wife is higher on the support side than she is on the challenge side, and I'm higher on the challenge side. So we balance each other out.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not a call to abdicate. Like, okay, you do the support side and I'll do the challenge side.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Right.
Then my kids are fearful, and like that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Right. I want a relationship, and it's hard to have a relationship when you're too heavy on one or the other. And I think this is why you said it's the most sinister. The apathetic culture is a really kind of dark, lonely place to be.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't matter.
Yeah.
I don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how well I do. It doesn't matter who I am. It doesn't matter how good or bad I am.
No one's calling me out to correct me, nor is anyone supporting and coming alongside me.
Yeah.
Because I must just not be worth it.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, whether that's in a family unit or a team, like a sports team, or a business like ours, where, it's sinister because, and I think that's why you said earlier, just run, get out of that culture as fast as possible.
Yeah. And let me speak to one that we were riffing on for a little bit. When you look at the cozy culture, and I think social club,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're all just good friends, and we got the warm fuzzies.
We're all just hanging out.
Yeah. If we do good, great. If we don't, whatever.
Right.
And it's characterized by entitlement and mistrust. And you said, I don't really get the mistrust part.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and one of the things I said was when you talk about the mistrust component, it's really, when you talk about the mistrust component, it's interesting because you think, wait, mistrust, how does that fit into all this? It's, and what I said to you was, hey, I think the subconscious message that somebody receives when nobody really cares about your performance is, oh, they don't actually care about what's best for me.
Yeah.
They care about what's best for them, whether what's best for them comes from a place of, I don't actually want to give them feedback and challenge them because I'm worried they won't like me.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, or if it comes from a place of, they just want to keep me around because any production is better than no production.
Yeah.
Right?
That's real estate right there.
Neither one of those is good in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm biased, right? But
yeah.
Again, if we're talking about becoming the best version of ourselves that we can be and being on a constant journey of growth and improvement and looking for how can I be better?
Yeah.
Not so that I'm more valuable, but so that I can add more value to people around me.
Yeah.
So I can be better in the world around me. I would have a healthy level of mistrust for somebody that never challenges me, never calls me out, because it's like, oh, you don't care. And we talked about this analogy of like parents with kids. If you just let your kids do whatever they want and there's no consequences, that's actually very disorienting because they go, hey, if you loved me, you would create some boundaries.
Yeah, if you love me, there would actually be consequences of some kind.
I would actually have some structure
to
my life. It's actually really hard for any of us. Like kids are an obvious example, but I think real estate professional is just as applicable.
Yeah.
It's really hard when somebody doesn't give you structure or boundaries and you don't know like what's acceptable, what's not, what's right, what's wrong.
You know what's interesting is I've got this analogy in my head, just popped into my mind. We both grew up playing soccer and played through college, and it used to drive me nuts when we'd go to the intramural fields at University of Georgia, and you'd put down 2 shirts or 2 shoes or whatever for 1 goal, right? And then maybe if it's a pickup game, it's like 30 yards or whatever, 20 yards.
Yeah.
You put down 2 other shirts, but there were never any like boundaries.
Yeah.
There were never any
touch lines,
out of bounds lines.
Yep.
And inevitably, you'd have 2 dudes in our world who would be fighting over the ball.
So I've been there. I've been there before.
And they'd be like real. 90 yards away.
Right.
And everyone else is like, what are we doing? This isn't even fun. Like I don't. Yep. This doesn't work. Like the functionality of the game doesn't work.
Life doesn't work as well when we don't have boundaries.
Totally.
Right. Also, life doesn't work as well when we don't have love and value outside of our performance.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Which, this is really deep for a Monday afternoon.
It's okay. This is part of the deal. It is.
But, if we take this to, what are the implications of this?
Yeah.
I think you and I want to get to a point where we help people realize, like, okay, these quadrants exist. We all have a tendency to lean more towards one or the other, but the one that's not natural for us is the one that has the potential and often does undermine our trust and influence with people.
Yeah, and it's the one it's so well said. I don't know if you guys caught that, but if you take nothing else from this podcast or this episode, I think it's that.
Yep.
Is that the blind spot, the one that you don't know about, the one that your significant other or your kid or your friend or your faith community or whoever would say, yeah, Dave doesn't really know about that. It's that one that has the most power to increase your influence and impact on yourself and the people that matter to most to you.
Yeah. I want to paint 2 scenarios, right? I want to paint either end of the extreme, right? If you're in real estate, which we're talking about real estate.
Yep.
Right? If you're in real estate and you are high on challenge, low on support,
Yep.
not only are you going to have a propensity to offend people,
Yep.
right? And they have to like you and trust you to do business with you.
Yeah.
So your likability went down. But also, if you're really high on the challenge and you're low on the support and your value comes from your performance, you're going to have a tendency to only want to work with people that are likely to turn into deals,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Right, where you're asking really transactional questions. You're doing everything in your business with
And people sniff that out.
with a really transactional motive, right? Like, oh, he doesn't care about me; he cares about his commission.
Yep.
Contrast that with somebody who's really high on the support matrix,
Yeah, like too high.
too high, and they're like, "I'll do anything. I'll show you 300 homes."
I'm never going to ask for anything.
Yeah, and if you never buy from me, it's okay.
Right? My last name is Doormat.
And like, oh my goodness, like that person's not going to respect you, and
Yeah.
you're also not helping them move to their better life.
No, you're not helping them get what they want, which is actually to own a home.
Yeah, neither one of them is ideal. They're both functional. That's the funny part about
Yes.
this. They're both functional,
Yeah.
but they're not ideal. If success is closing the gap between our performance and our potential,
Yeah.
right? Then neither one of them is ideal, but they are functional.
Yeah. And maybe this is a good encouragement because it was for me when you and I kind of co-discovered with our leadership team this concept of what I'm going to just call the boat race. The encouragement is,
This is so good.
if you're listening to this and you're like, oh man, I am so quote, quote, guilty of being aggressive, or I'm guilty of creating a cozy culture or whatever. Here's the good news is that there's no world in which any of us executes a support challenge matrix perfectly all the time. It's never going to happen. That's why I like to look at this thing and go, yeah, we either tilt one way or the other. Like in our own business at our brokerage, I think we've gotten cozy in some areas. I think we've gotten aggressive in some areas.
We realized that about a year ago.
Totally.
We're like, oh man, we've gotten too cozy.
Yeah, too cozy, too
Where
aggressive.
we've actually shifted out of the liberated culture quadrant.
Yep.
Like towards the cozy, which by the way, that happens to all organizations.
Everybody.
You're not just like, oh yeah, we're in the liberated quadrant all the time.
Yeah, ask your employees.
It's like
They're going to tell you something different.
You're actually going to you're going to shift back and forth, right?
And that's the boat race concept is
Totally.
if you've never sailed boats or whatever, it's fine. But you get the idea of where in a boat race, it's not like a car race where it's just a straight line. You got to go one way and then tack back the other way. And then you go the other way and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's never a straight line in a boat race. And so that's very similar to implementing or living by this standard is you're never going to get it perfect. You're going to go one way and then correct and correct and correct.
That's right.
And you got to do that. The cool thing is, I believe, you got to do that in community because you have to have somebody calling out your blind spots and saying, hey, I actually think we're trending towards cozy, or hey, I think the inertia is trending towards aggression, and so let's talk about that. Let's figure out a way to, fix it, and then beyond that too is that we're talking about this as if it's a metric for your entire business or your entire team. If you're listening to this and you're a coach or whatever. And it can be. It can be
for sure.
It can be. It's almost like a SWOT analysis. Everybody knows that, or hopefully most people know about it. It's the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you should do that quarterly and look at that. So you can do that at a company level. And you can use this support challenge matrix at a company level, but you can also do it departmentally. So you could say, hey, within the sales department, how are we trending? Within in our world, the transaction management department and the team that runs that, how are we trending there? In engagement with clients, how are we trending there? And then even beyond that, to make it even more close to home, you can actually overlay this onto individual relationships as well.
Yeah.
And say, oh, wow, like how could I overlay this matrix onto my relationship with my spouse, my significant other, my plus one, whoever that is, my kids.
Yep.
Like
my friends,
my
coworkers,
everybody.
Which is interesting. You just made me think of this. You can tend one way with certain people in your life and tend another way with other people in your life. You can be really high in the challenge with your kids.
Yeah.
But with one of your best friends, you can be on the other extreme. You're overly high on support,
Yeah.
and not high enough on the challenge.
Totally. And by the way, this is probably a whole nother episode, also instigated or triggered or enabled by Landon. But in order to know when is tilting towards the aggressive more appropriate, and when is tilting towards the cozy a little bit more appropriate, is answering the question, hey, do you know what it's like to be on the other side of yourself?
Oh, so good.
Because if you don't, everyone else in the room does,
Right.
which is, I love the way Landon says that. But so when we look at this, and if you're listening to this, I guess what I'm going with this is, if you're listening and going, this is all great, guys, conceptually, but how do I actually implement this? Like, what's the takeaway? What do I do with this?
Yeah.
It's to take the support challenge matrix and think critically about your relationships, whether that be your personal relationships, your business relationships, your business in general, different departments within your business, and just ask yourself, am I designing and implementing more of a cozy culture, aggressive culture, apathetic culture, and then liberated culture? And if it's one of the three, cozy, aggressive, apathetic, then the question becomes, what's one or two things that I might be able to do to rebalance?
Could I take us home here?
Yeah, 100%.
So one of the analogies that Giant uses, that Landon uses, that is so easy to latch onto, it's very vivid and I love it, is this analogy of the Sherpa.
Oh, love this. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Where, why is any of this worth talking about, right? And we've used some key phrases here that I want to highlight. When you talk about trust and influence, the only reason it's important to have trust and influence with people is if you care about what's best for them,
Yeah.
right?
Their highest and best.
Their highest good, right? And I love, like Landon talks to us all the time about, hey, are you really fighting for somebody's highest and best good, right? And we can look at that a lot of times and go, I'm actually, this is selfish, or this is insecure, or this comes from a place of ego.
Yep.
And then we can also look at it sometimes and go, no, I actually am, I'm for that person.
Yeah.
I want to see them win. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them move towards their better life. So understand that this comes from a place of, if you genuinely want to see people win, whatever their definition of winning is, for me, it's, I want to see people growing. I want to see people setting and accomplishing meaningful goals.
Yeah.
And I want to see people adding value to other people in the world around them.
Deepening their relationships
100%.
with those people. Yeah.
Then you look at your job as the Sherpa, where the Sherpa
So good.
is
In Tibet, like
Yep.
just to,
Tibet, climbing Mount Everest.
Yep.
Think, Himalayas. If you ask a Sherpa, how many times have you summited Mount Everest? They don't know.
they don't know.
They don't know. They don't keep track. That's
Yeah.
not the scoreboard.
And these are like
that
the
they're using.
native people in Tibet. Like
Yep.
they live right there.
But if you ask them, how many people have you helped to reach this summit?
They know exactly.
They know exactly how many, because that's how they're determining their success, is how many other people have I helped attain their goals and reach success.
And that's the notch on the belt.
Boom. So if you apply that then, right, overlay that with your real estate career, right, how many clients have I helped be successful? How many clients have I helped win? Apply that to your life. How have I done at helping my kids win?
Yeah.
How have I done at helping my kids move to their better life?
Yep. And to be explicit, because some people might hear that and go, oh, winning, like the soccer game, the baseball game, that's the aggressive thing. Holistically is what you're talking about.
Yep.
How do I help them win in terms of determining who they are and what's their best version of themselves, and growing and understanding the world and understanding themselves. And
yeah, like I tell my kids all the time, it's like, it's not whether you win or lose that determines whether you're successful. It's how you played the game.
Yep.
Right.
So good.
Yeah. So quick side note there, but the Sherpa analogy says, okay, if my success is determined by how I help other people win and how successful I help other people be, then it matters that the things that potentially are going to undermine my trust and influence with that person, that has huge implications.
Yeah.
Right. And so I need to pay special attention to the things that are potentially going to get in my way and work on those And those are also great leverage points, because if I'm naturally strong at challenge, but I can get good at support,
Yep.
right? If I can understand the person who doesn't work as hard as I do,
Right.
and why that is and what they're struggling with, and then help them get past that, my potential to make an impact on that person's life is tremendous.
It's 100x.
But if I'm sitting here with all challenge, low support, and I'm just judging them and condemning them and making them feel like a piece of shit because they're not working as hard as they should,
Right.
I've totally undermined my trust and influence, and it's really hard for me to help somebody move to their better life and win
Yeah.
when they don't work with me.
Yeah.
Because they think I'm a jackass, right? Which, welcome to my life for way too much of my leadership career.
You start unpacking it, and this thing is
I wish I had a do-over.
we call the support challenge matrix. We could call it the support challenge mirror.
Yeah.
Like look at this thing in the mirror.
Good grief. It gives you a lot of humility when you look back on how you've screwed this up. But thank God for good people in our lives who have pointed out, hey, you actually need to work on your support.
Yeah.
Or for those of us who tend to support, hey, you really need to work on your challenge.
On your challenge,
You need to set better boundaries. You need to say no. You need to put your foot in the sand and go, hey, this is what we stand for, and your current level of performance isn't acceptable.
Yeah.
Right? And we need to change this.
Yep.
Right? Not for our good, not because of how we feel about the whole thing,
Right.
but for their good. Because you go, life works better when you have both support and challenge, where you're loved and you're also challenged to be the best version of yourself. And it's not anything goes.
Yeah, that's so good. And I know we're getting to the end here. One reflection I had just was you were talking about that was, it's funny. For me personally, internally, when I think about this support challenge matrix, I am aggressive with myself.
You are. You've said this before. I bully myself.
Yes.
But I can't stand when other people are bullied.
I can't. I'm like, I'm totally fine bullying myself and making myself do things that are uncomfortable, inconvenient, whatever. But also mentally challenging. I'll do that all day long to myself. I have a hard time expecting or going to other people and asking them to do the same thing, or setting up environments to do the same thing. And so for me, and if you're listening and you're like, yeah, me too, or maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're, no, I cozy myself, right? But then on the outside, I'm really aggressive with other people, right?
Yep.
There is no judgment or indictment with how you operate or who you are. We could get into all sorts of psychological reasons for that. My wife's a therapist. She could probably explain it to both of us.
Right. That's above our pay grade.
That's way above my pay grade. I don't understand any of that. But the point for now, and as we wrap up, is to take this kind of assessment tool, if you will, and look at it and go, hey, here's where I'm at. And then here's where I want to be.
And here we are back at action steps.
Yes. In the next 90 days or whatever it is, this is where I would like to be. Bite-sized chunks of doing this. You're not going to change who you are. I'm not going to change the fact that I like to bully myself into doing things that are uncomfortable. That it just is what it is, right?
Yep.
So take that. But what I do know is that, okay, on the outside, I probably do need to get a little bit better at asking people difficult questions that might be awkward.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I could improve in that.
It's funny because as you're saying that, here's what I'm thinking is we all have our default. We all have our natural tendency.
That's right.
We tend towards one or the other. And my question would be, how's that working for you?
Right? That's so good. Yes.
How's it? I would challenge anyone listening to this. I would challenge myself, and I would challenge you.
Totally.
That the more we can lean into the one that's not natural for us,
yes,
the more trust and influence we get. When our default is to be the hammer, but we can be softer with people, it's easier for them to hear us and to hear the challenge and accept it.
Yep.
Right? When they go, oh, this person, Dave cares about me.
Yep.
More than just my numbers, and he really does want what's best for me.
Yeah.
Right. Just like I think sometimes people need to hear, like, oh, you don't just like me, but you actually want the best for me, and you're willing to tell me things that are hard for me to hear.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
Yeah.
Is kind of what's in my mind. Like
100%.
when you're seeing somebody and we all have perfect vision and peripheral vision too when we're talking about other people.
Oh, it's so easy to see in other people, but it's so hard to see in ourselves.
So hard to see.
So I think action steps. Number 1.
Yeah.
Sit down and write out which one do you naturally tend towards with people in your personal life and people in your work life.
Yeah.
Because they might be the same, but they also might be different.
Might be different. Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
And then you go, okay, what would it look like?
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I'm talking like visualize this and then write it down. What would it look like if I actually didn't do what was natural to me and I did the other one, right? So again, for me, for me, better support for my kids when they screw up looks like sitting them down and looking in their eyes rather than just me going off the handle.
Yeah.
Right? It's me telling them, and part of it is telling me, hey, you're a good kid who just happened to make a mistake. And guess what? We all make mistakes.
Yeah, we all make bad decisions.
Yep.
Whatever. Doesn't change who you are.
We have consequences, but you're still a good kid.
Yeah.
Right? And it's things like, listening, asking questions, seeking to understand. Like those are the things that are hard for me.
Yeah.
In the moment when I'm emotionally charged is to stay curious and seek to understand rather than just jumping right into judgment and condemnation.
And consequences. And, the rules and everything else.
So welcome to my struggle.
What's yours?
Right? What's yours? But that's number 2 is like, what would it look like to do the thing that's unnatural to you?
Yeah.
And then practice.
Yeah.
Right? It's as simple as that. Practice. And then you're gonna have to do it over again. You're gonna have to revisualize and re-practice in your mind what that looks like in the moment when you are emotionally charged, where you plan your response ahead of time.
Yeah.
Right. And then think about that. I know we're talking about, kids and personal relations, but think about that in a work setting.
In a work setting, yeah.
Yep. What would it look like when I'm frustrated and disappointed with one of my team members?
Yeah.
For whatever reason. If my natural inclination is support, what would it look like to challenge that person?
Yeah.
In a healthy, loving way.
And I think there's 2 other small points to this. One is, I think sharing the challenge, sharing your challenge,
sharing the struggle.
The struggle. Thank you, with somebody else. Like, I know that's your struggle with the kiddos, right?
Yep.
You know that I sometimes have a little bit of a hard time challenging people at Thrive. Tell somebody is the maybe step 3,
right?
And this whole thing is tell somebody, this is where I kind of struggle, so that they can say, hey, how's that going? And they can support you,
and they can give you some ideas.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
Like when I'm having trouble with the support side, you know what I do? I go to people that are good at the support side and I ask them, like, hey, what would you do?
Yeah, what would you do?
How could I be better at this? Because it's not natural to me, but it is natural to them.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fourth thing maybe is just a suggestion for the listeners here. This popped into my mind as you were talking, and maybe we can round out here. But it's actually to go ahead and share with whoever it is that you're coaching or influencing or mentoring. In your analogy, it would be your kids. In somebody else's analogy, it would be a team member. If you're a sales manager, if you're a team leader, whatever it is in our industry, you could be a brokerage owner, whatever. But there's no harm in actually showing this graphic and saying, hey, here's what I want. I want to support you on the, what's it called, the up and down axis?
The y-axis. Oh, good Lord, Dave.
I want.
How do you run a business?
I don't. You guys do. So sitting down with somebody and saying, I want to instill or empower you or equip you with high support, and showing them the graphic. I'm also wanting to high challenge, because I think you would agree that this ends in a liberated culture with empowerment opportunity. Yeah. That's what I want for you.
Who's going to be mad if you say, hey, I want what's best for you,
and this is how,
and then you admit to what they already know? I'm pretty good at this one, but I'm really bad at this one.
Totally. And then just straight up ask them, like, what in this interaction or what in our relationship would help with where I think I'm probably lacking, which is, support.
What can I do to help you be better?
Or challenge. And they will literally tell you, they will code crack
what do you need from
what
me?
they need.
Yep. Which, by the way,
so it's not rocket science, is I guess what I'm saying. It's
unbelievably vulnerable to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think in leadership, which is funny because this podcast, we talk a lot about leadership topics. In leadership, it's really hard it's harder than normal to be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
because you get this sense of, I always have to be on, I have to be perfect, I have to have all the answers, I have to
know
have
it all.
figured out. Yep. Otherwise, I'm going to look bad and they're not going to follow me.
Right.
And that's actually not true.
No, not at all.
No, some of your greatest impact comes from when you don't have all the answers and you admit your vulnerabilities.
Yep.
And you ask for help.
Yeah, and asking the person that you're even coaching and engaging, whether it be your kids or your team member, what would be most empowering, maybe is the question in this area that I feel like I'm lacking in, and then they'll just tell you, and then you could just do that.
Yeah. So if I'm talking to somebody I work with, how could I be a better leader for you? What do you need from me that you're not getting?
Yep.
And then for my kids, how could I be a better dad for you?
Yep.
Like, what are you not getting from me that would be really helpful?
And you can literally show them the graphic that we're looking at, which hopefully you guys are visualizing or have written it down, high support, high challenge. And all of a sudden you've got this common tool that both you and the person that you're impacting can refer back to and talk about, so that it's not nebulous, where you're like, I don't really know what's in your mind. And they're going, yeah, I'm not really understanding what you're saying. This is like a common language almost to code crack it, which is huge. And that's, just in closing remarks, that's really what we're after, right? I mean, when we're doing this episode and this podcast, if you're wondering why are you even riffing on this and talking about it, is because we both think it unlocks the next level of impact and influence in people's lives, and that's what we're pretty passionate about.
Yeah. Language and principles are what shape the community.
Yeah,
and the culture that you're a part of.
Yeah, I love this tool. Yeah. All right, thank you for listening. I hope you tune in on the next episode, which I have no idea what it's going to be about yet, but
trust me,
we'll figure that out.
It'll be really good.
Pompous. Signing off.